Donald Trump, a name that has defined the American political landscape like few others. From a real estate mogul to the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump's life is a reflection of ambition, controversy, and an unrelenting desire for power. But what is the story behind this polarizing figure? In this documentary, we explore Donald Trump's early years, his rise to fame, his transformative presidency, and the current state of his influence. Strap in as we go on a journey through the fast-paced and unpredictable life of Donald J. Trump. Born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York, Donald Trump's path to the top began in a family that was no stranger to wealth and influence. His father, Fred Trump, was a successful real estate developer, building affordable housing in the boroughs of New York City. Fred's work was foundational to Trump's entry into the real estate world. But Donald's story is more complex than just inheriting his father's empire. Donald's mother, Mary MacLeod Trump, was a Scottish immigrant who brought a unique sense of discipline and work ethic to the family. Fred Trump's strict, sometimes harsh approach shaped Donald's personality, pushing him to excel while also fostering a competitive and at times combative nature. From a young age, Trump showed an affinity for business, earning his first paycheck by working on his father's properties. Trump attended the Kew Forest School before moving on to the New York Military Academy, where his personality was further shaped by discipline and structure. It was here that he learned the importance of public speaking and leadership. Trump would go on to attend Fordham University for 2 years, before transferring to the prestigious Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, where he completed a degree in economics in 1968. It was during these formative years that Trump developed his infamous drive for success. He wasn't content with simply working in the family business. He wanted to be known on his own terms, and from the very beginning, he was determined to make his mark in the world of high-stakes real estate. Upon graduating, Trump joined his father's company, the Trump Organization. However, he was quickly set on carving out his own identity. The first major project that catapulted him into the public eye was the development of the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan in 1978. The project was a gamble. Trump took a dilapidated hotel, invested millions, and transformed it into a thriving success. His ability to leverage political influence, secure financing, and sell a vision became his trademark. But Trump didn't stop there. The 1980s saw him build an empire, with the iconic Trump Tower becoming the jewel of his real estate portfolio. As the owner of a series of casinos, hotels, and office buildings, Trump became synonymous with wealth and extravagance. His bold business moves, larger-than-life persona, and penchant for self-promotion created a brand that extended far beyond real estate. At the same time, Trump's ability to stay in the media spotlight was unmatched. He knew that to remain relevant, he had to become more than just a businessman. He had to become a celebrity. Enter The Apprentice, a reality TV show that premiered in 2004. The show, where contestants competed for a job with Trump, was an instant success. Trump's catchphrase, "You're fired," became part of the American lexicon, and he cemented his role as a pop culture icon. But behind the glitz and glamour, Trump faced significant business setbacks. In the early 1990s, his empire faltered as the economy slumped, and he was forced to take on massive debt. At one point, he was nearly bankrupt. However, Trump's resilience and strategic decisions allowed him to rebuild his fortune, proving his ability to weather even the toughest storms. While Trump's business empire flourished, he began to take more interest in politics. He flirted with running for president several times over the years, but it wasn't until 2015 that he made a serious move. Trump's entry into the Republican primaries was met with skepticism. Many believed that a man with no political experience had no chance against seasoned politicians. But Trump's unorthodox approach to campaigning, his blunt rhetoric, disregard for political correctness, and promise to make America great again resonated with a large swath of the American public. Trump's campaign was built on populist promises, reducing illegal immigration, bringing jobs back to America, and dismantling what he described as the swamp of Washington, D.C. His rallies were massive, and his supporters were fiercely loyal. What started as a long shot quickly became a political phenomenon. In a stunning turn of events, Donald Trump clinched the Republican nomination and went on to defeat Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election. The victory shocked the political establishment, the media, and the world. It marked the beginning of a new era in American politics, one where traditional norms were disregarded and the rules of engagement were rewritten. As president, Trump made a series of bold decisions that forever altered the political landscape. His tax reform plan, which slashed corporate tax rates, was a hallmark of his domestic policy. He appointed conservative judges to the federal bench, including 3 Supreme Court justices, shifting the ideological balance of the court for generations. Trump's foreign policy was equally unconventional. He pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement, withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, and implemented tariffs on Chinese goods, signaling a new era of America First trade policies. Perhaps his most controversial move was his handling of North Korea. In 2018, Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to meet with a North Korean leader. The summit was historic, but it yielded few tangible results. While Trump's presidency was marked by some triumphs, it was also fraught with controversy. His policies, though hailed by some as necessary for the country's future, have had lasting negative effects. His administration's aggressive stance on immigration led to family separations at the border and contributed to a deepening national divide. His disregard for established democratic norms, particularly his refusal to concede the 2020 election, set a dangerous precedent for the future of American democracy. His rhetoric, which many considered inflammatory, further entrenched divisions in American society, leading to the rise of extremist groups. The January 6th Capitol riot was the culmination of this dark chapter in American history. Trump's role in inciting the violence left an indelible mark on the nation's political fabric. Perhaps one of the most damaging aspects of Trump's presidency was his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. His downplaying of the virus and his inconsistent leadership during the crisis led to widespread confusion and delayed responses, costing countless lives and deepening distrust in government institutions. However, Trump's presidency also had its positive moments. His tax cuts, for instance, were hailed by many as a necessary move to stimulate the economy and reduce corporate tax burdens, encouraging businesses to invest more in the U.S. His administration's deregulation efforts made it easier for businesses to operate without the heavy hand of government interference. Trump's approach to foreign policy, particularly in the Middle East, yielded some unexpected outcomes. The Abraham Accords, a series of agreements between Israel and several Arab nations, were a breakthrough in peace negotiations in the region. This was one of the few areas where Trump's unconventional approach produced results. Additionally, his America First stance gave rise to a more assertive American foreign policy, particularly in relation to China, challenging a decades-long status quo. By prioritizing American workers and industries, Trump attempted to reset the balance of global trade and bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. Donald Trump's legacy in the Middle East has had lasting effects, especially in the context of the Israel-Iran conflict. One of his most significant decisions was pulling the United States out of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which heightened tensions between the two nations. By imposing heavy sanctions on Iran and promoting an America First policy, Trump escalated the geopolitical volatility in the region. This move alienated key allies and left a power vacuum, further intensifying Iran's desire for nuclear capabilities and its support for proxy wars across the Middle East. In 2025, the region has once again been plunged into chaos as a new war breaks out between Israel and Iran. Trump's earlier actions have had profound consequences for this conflict. By fostering an unwavering relationship with Israel, including moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, Trump solidified Israel's position as a regional power, but also ignited deep-rooted tensions with Iran and its allies. As a result, the 2025 war saw Israel and Iran engaging in direct hostilities, with Israel launching preemptive strikes against Iranian military sites and Iran retaliating with missile attacks on Israeli targets. Trump's support for Israel, coupled with his harsh stance on Iran, has left a legacy of heightened mistrust and instability in the region. His decision to withdraw from international diplomacy in the Middle East created a dangerous power struggle, which in 2025 has led to a more aggressive Iran and a war-torn Israel. The outcome of this conflict will likely shape future U.S. policy and its approach to diplomacy in the region for years to come, with Trump's earlier actions continuing to cast a long shadow over the unfolding crisis. Since leaving office, Trump has remained a divisive figure. His influence within the Republican Party is undeniable, with many seeing him as the de facto leader of the party. His legal troubles, however, continue to mount. Investigations into his business dealings, his role in the January 6th insurrection, and his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results have kept him in the headlines. Despite these challenges, Trump has remained a force in American politics. His rallies continue to draw large crowds, and he has suggested he may run for president again in 2024. Whether or not he decides to run, it's clear that his impact on American political life will be felt for years to come. Donald Trump's legacy is one of contradictions. He reshaped the Republican Party, upended the political status quo, and mobilized millions of Americans who felt ignored by the establishment. Yet he also faced widespread criticism for his divisive rhetoric, controversial policies, and handling of critical national issues. Through it all, Trump's personal brand has remained untarnished in the eyes of many of his supporters. His unyielding confidence, brash style, and ability to push boundaries have made him a figure like no other in American history. As we look to the future, one question remains: what's next for Donald Trump? Will he return to the White House, or will he continue to wield his influence from the sidelines? One thing is for certain: his story is far from over. Thank you for watching this documentary on the life and legacy of Donald Trump. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth documentaries on the figures who shape our world.